Hi guys, I'm Carolyn Wasser and I am the mate on Tall Ship American Pride based in Long Beach. And I have a history presentation for you today. So to start, we have a quick little music video that was made by a whole bunch of volunteers last week to answer the common questions that we get when people come and visit us on the dock. You know, every tall ship organization is used to answering what are those fuzzy things at the loft, or how old is the boat built. So that's actually where kind of our music video developed from, but it does tell you the history of the boat. So we're going to start by watching that, and then after we watch the video, I break down the lyrics.
Excuse me. Where's this boat from? What's its name?
She was Brooklyn built back in 1941. Grand Banks Schooner-Trawler on the St. George run. Swept for miles in the war, then back to Canva Todd. An added third mast made her the Natalie Todd. With her strong steel masts and new halyards and sheets, she proceeded to join the main with Jennifer fleet. 10 years later, she sailed right through Panama, over 7,000 miles here to California. Catch a ride on American Pride, we're always here for you. From the break of dawn, we get our red sails on. Come catch a ride on American Pride. This beast of a windlass gets our anchor done. Leave a length on deck and feet of 101. At a 30-foot bow sprint that points the way, we can sleep 32 when we sail away. The harbor hears our guns both far and wide. Even the Coast Guard knows our broadside. 4 and 12-pounders and more every day. When we have our sea battles, we clear the way. Catch a ride on American Pride, we're always here for you. Come the break of dawn, we get our red sails on. Come catch a ride on American Pride. Our virtual classes are streaming strong. For our list of STEM and STEAM, well, just log on. We Zoom classes daily to the LAUSD. We maintain our boat proudly for the world to see. Experiential classes, wonder-based and watershed. Summer sails to Catalina and environmental ed. A birthday charter, or you can tie the knot. If you want a perfect ending, you can go out with a shot. Catch a ride on American Pride, we're always here for you. Come the break of dawn, we get our red sails on. Come catch a ride on American Pride. Catch a ride on American Pride, we're always here for you. Come the break of dawn, we get our red sails on. Come catch a ride on American Pride.
Oh, thanks.
Excuse me, what's the name of this boat?
Awesome. So yeah, that was a little video that we got to go out sailing with all of our volunteer friends, some of our volunteer friends last week, and put together that video. So super thankful for all those people that helped. But I'm going to go ahead and switch to a Canva presentation, basically where I have taken those lyrics, broken them down to tell you all about the history of American Pride. So let me present that and put this in screen share mode. Perfect. Can everyone see that slide? I'm assuming. I'm going to go ahead and start presenting, and hopefully people can see it. So yeah, we are American Pride. Let me get to the right screen here. And we are based out of Long Beach, California, and we are a 130-foot schooner that does education programs. But before she was an education boat, she was built in Brooklyn by the Mueller Boat Works, and she was a fishing boat. So a little fishing trawler up in New England, fishing the Grand Banks and the St. George Run. So that was the starting line of our video. And she was only a fishing boat for 1 year, because at 1942, she was actually acquired by the Navy and refitted at Boston Navy Yard to be YP-448. And she was placed in service in September of that year. So you can see a picture here with all the equipment on that fishing boat. She still has the port side open for her trawling nets, but you do have all the mine equipment and yard patrol equipment on board. So YP-448, American Pride, was based out of Florida. Specifically Miami and Mayport and Key West. But we don't have a picture of American Pride like this, but this one is very similar, another fishing boat converted for the war. But during the time that she was a yard patrol boat, she typically had about 12 crew members on board. And we do have all of those logs from the National Archives, which is pretty cool. We can see all the people changing, and there are rosters of where she went and when she was in port. She very often went out with another boat named Mockingbird. We can see in the records, and she'd go with Mockingbird. I'm assuming that she was a starboard side trawler that would work together and try to find mines. So this is a record of her working with Mockingbird, trying to sweep for mines. It's actually a note saying, hey, this kind of worked, but not really. We need to work on making the nets a little stronger. I really enjoy number 4 that's listed down here, where it says ships of Mockingbird class and fisherman type are especially fine ships for this type of work because of their cargo booms and their large area of deck space, because that's really why we love American Pride. We love the deck space that she has from being a fishing boat. So American Pride does have all these really cool records. I was only able to choose some of my favorites, but yeah, she did a lot of fun work in the war. And then, let's see, she was mainly based out of Florida, but around the time of the Battle of Stalingrad, she was up in the Chesapeake, and she was a patrol vessel. This is just a little, record of where the ship was, taking her guard as a guard boat or being part of the entrance patrol. So she did go up into the mid-state, but spent most of her time in Florida. And after a few times, after working in Florida for a bit and patrolling in the Chesapeake, she was actually used as she was a classified vessel. So we don't fully know a lot about this time, but we know that American Pride, or Virginia YP448, was her name, under the mine warfare officer based in Key West, doing runs from Key West to Cuba. We know that during this time, she also got special equipment to do underwater searching. So it was classified mission, not quite sure exactly what it was, but we know that American Pride's name was changed to IX-200, and 4 days later, her name was actually changed to the, let me get here, IX-200 Mauretanza for a few years. So that was, let's see, in 1944 is when she became the classified vessel IX-200, and then she was transferred to the Maritime Commission in 1947 after the shaft was sheared and decommissioned. And after she was decommissioned, no longer used for the war, she didn't stop sailing. She went right back into fishing. So the O'Hara fishing fleet bought YP448 and changed her name to Araho, which is O'Hara spelled backwards. And the company had just expanded and started fishing in Portland. So she was based in Portland, doing a whole bunch of fishing. You can see the picture on, I don't know what side, right or left, but all the ice that was loaded down into the main hold to keep those fish cool. So that is a really great picture we have of Araho. And she was Araho for quite a while, until 1963, when the company expanded so much that they were able to build 2 brand new fishing trawlers at Harvey Gamage Shipyard, and so Araho was then sold. During this time was actually when American Pride, or Araho, got her blue color. So right now she is red, but for most of her life she did have blue paint on all the rails. Blue and orange were the colors of the fishing fleet, and actually still are. So after she retired from the O'Hara Fishing Company, she was actually bought by an Italian fisherman in Gloucester, Massachusetts, and she was St. Catherine for a little bit. And eventually his fishing company changed names a little bit, and American Pride became Lady in Blue. So she was Lady in Blue around 1968, and continued fishing. Fished most of her life. And then it wasn't until, I see, we have a line in our song that you listen to that said, an added third mast made her Natalie Todd. With her strong steel mast, new halyards and sheets, she proceeded to join the main windjamming fleet. And this is when American Pride retired from fishing, and she started doing charters. So Stephen Pagels in Maine bought American Pride and did a full refit of the boat. He added the masts. He made it so that he could do charters out of the boat. And that's what American Pride did for a very long time. It wasn't until, I believe, the 90s when Margaret Todd, the ship that is still sailing up there, was made. And she's based completely off of American Pride, just has a steel hull and an added 4th mast. So there are just some pictures of her from the 80s. And then in the 90s, she sailed over 7,000 miles to California through the Panama Canal. She was bought by the American Heritage Foundation, or American Heritage Institute, to do charters and education in California. And so she came to California, did a little bit of education, did charters for a while. She made her home in Long Beach. And because of some family problems, the boat was left, unloved at the dock for a little bit. She was impounded in 2017 by the city of Long Beach. And that's where the Los Angeles Maritime Institute comes in. So in 2017, 2018, Los Angeles Maritime Institute, LAMI, bought the boat for, I believe, $10, and we did a full stem to stern refit. So when I got to the boat 2 years ago, the boat was out of the water. There were planks on the side missing. The boat, when it rained outside, it rained inside the boat. Needed a lot of caulking and reefing, and all the rigging needed redone. So it was a lot of work. And we had to redo our windlass. I know that was in the song. Completely take it apart and re-grease it. We also had to put a brand new bowsprit on. So in our shop, we laminated a whole bunch of wood, shaped it. We were able to actually work with school students to rebuild that, which was a great experience and great adventure. And then today, so it was a long couple months of restoration of the boat, and in March we did get our COI and we immediately started sailing. I think we had 4 days in between a crazy shipyard period to when we went sailing, and we've been sailing ever since. Some of our first trips were with college students over to Catalina, where we got to snorkel with them and talk about the geography of the island. We did a ton of Saturday programs with kids, and we were able to jump right into education and doing our typical, top sail program. So in addition to educating, we are normally doing tall ship festivals just like every other tall ship. We love going out, doing cannon battles, firing at other boats. Always up for birthday parties and weddings. So we've done funerals. Basically, we'll do whatever charter on weekends, but our main focus is education. So those things will help us pay for the education that we try to do. So for education, we mainly focus on 4th and 5th graders, working on watershed programs or history programs, which are part of the Common Core curriculum. And I always tell people that our program is wonder-based. So when the kids come on board, we will set sails almost immediately. But before we jump into programs, we like to pause and stop. And we have a moment of silence or a moment of wonder. And during that time, the kids are, looking up at the rigging and thinking about how they just set the sail with, no engine power, and they're looking over the water and realizing they're seeing dolphins for the first time, or, maybe it's the first time they're resting for a while. And this moment of silence, this moment of wonder is kind of what drives all of the learning that comes in after that. So yes, the kids are coming on board and they know that they're getting a watershed lesson or history lesson, but we make it very clear that, education means to come from within. So we want that to be what they're learning. They're going to catch on more. They're going to remember it more if it's all based on their interests and what they found and discovered while on board. And so that's what we do during the school year. Typically in the summer, we are island hopping, going to Catalina, snorkeling, jumping off the boat, hiking, eating ice cream on the beach. But of course, because of COVID, everything is a little different. So right now we are doing virtual classes. So right now down below, we actually have a watershed lesson happening virtually. In a few hours, I have to do a whale lesson with kindergarteners. We're constantly doing virtual classes. We're making virtual lessons that are being posted on our website. We're writing curriculum that normally parallels our normal curriculum. So that's all online. You can check it out at LAMI Topsail or on our YouTube channel. Yep, zooming with LAUSD, and of course maintenance. We try to, and then use this downtime to do some maintenance projects. But that's really all I have for our presentation. I'd love it if you could check out our website. One thing I didn't mention is, we are part of the Los Angeles Maritime Institute, but Children's Maritime Institute is a fully owned subsidiary. It's basically the, sister organization of LAMI. So you can check out both of our websites, and then we have all of our social media there. I'm sure you can also find it through the Tall Ship Galveston page. So let me know if you have any questions. I can try to answer them about the history. A lot of it is unknown. People didn't keep really good records of all the fishing boats and stuff, and some of it is still classified and we can't find it. But let me know if you have questions and I'll try to answer it.
Carolyn, this is Will from Galveston Historical Foundation. Thanks so much for your time today. With it being a children's oriented ship, what do the kids gravitate towards? Is there something that they always want to go see? Or what do the kids really pull out of their experience on board?
I mean, kids love climbing. I think going out on the bowsprit and climbing is such a good experience for the kids. It's something, I mean, the boat is one step away from, life on land, and the bowsprit is even crazier. They're climbing, they're facing their fears. And we often find that, the best conversations happen while they're on the bowsprit. They're feeling, they feel more connected to the earth and the people that are on board rather than, the craziness of life that they're living. So I think the kids definitely gravitate towards the bowsprit and all the fun stuff, but it does have meaning to it too.
Well, as with all the ships, except for the Eagle, which we cannot donate to, but all the ships are competing as part of a crowd favorite contest as well. We'll announce that on Saturday. So each ship has their own page on the Throwdown website. So make sure you donate to American Pride or any and all of the ships. And we will announce that later. Carolyn, thank you so much. If anyone has questions, please leave them in the comments of the video, and we will make sure that Carolyn gets a chance to respond to them. But really appreciate your time today and look forward to the competition on Saturday.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you. Yeah. Great. See ya.